Hi guys, it's Sarah with Grassroots Evolution, and I'm here today to bring you a New Year's message for the sign of Leo. So guys, I hope that you've had a wonderful New Year so far. I hope that 2020 has you feeling optimistic and ready to take opportunities as they jump into your lap, is what I'm hearing, but also willing to go after them, to take chances, to get messy, to make mistakes, like Miss Frizzle would say, and to go out there and make a difference in your life and the lives of other people. So guys, for all my subscribers, thank you guys for being here. You mean the world to me. I love you, love you, love you. And if you are new to my channel, please feel free, if this resonates, hit subscribe, join the journey with me, and let me see your energy or encounter your energy more often. And hey, if you want to see these readings more often, hit subscribe with me. So I'm going to take a moment before we get into the cards just to call in Archangel Michael, to call in my team of light, as well as any of your spirit guides, guys, that are there for our highest good that would like to join us now. I would like to be used as the clearest channel possible to deliver messages that are only for the highest good of those of us watching, as well as for the most far-reaching messages. So guys, remember that this is general, so take what you feel resonates for you, disregard the rest. If it doesn't feel like it's your message, it's not your message. There's a lot of other readers. There are a lot of even people in this world that if this message isn't for you, check out one of your, like your moon or your rising signs. Just check out where other placements are, as well as not only that, but if it doesn't resonate with you, a different time might. So this is timeless, even though there is a New Year's 2021 on it. If you encounter it in 2022, it still may resonate. So again, take what's for you. I want to read to you guys one of the cards that flipped out when I was getting ready for this. So this is the postcard from Spirit Oracle. We will also pull another one, but when they jump out face first and they like to show themselves to me, I feel like it's important to share it with you. So if throughout this, these are channeled messages from Spirit, Colette Baron Reed did. So if I trigger you, if I invoke an emotional reaction, if I make you feel a certain way, think a certain way, what was it? Use this empowered vulnerability going forward to make positive changes in your worlds. Because, I mean, seeing is believing, and sometimes when we can see it, it's finally giving us that possibility to change it, and we may not have seen it up until this point. So again, this is also allowing ourselves to be more fully us, to be more embodied, and to heal just a little bit more. So here I love it because it says, be fearless. Be fearless and be brave this year. Be fearless and be brave and take those chances that you would like to see, right? Miss Frizzle, be fearless. I heard get in, get wet, right? Like jump in that water, my friends. Don't be afraid to make a splash. And know that, yeah, it might feel a little bit cold at first when you jump into the water, but your body will acclimatize as long as you're not jumping in it in the middle of winter and stuff like that, right? But as a metaphor, when we jump into water, when we go into a cool pool, it may feel cold at first, but you relax and you get used to it. And what may have felt so jaunting or jolting at first becomes something really enjoyable, and the pleasure of feeling cool will last you into the evening, depending on how long you've spent time in the water, right, on a hot summer day. Dearest you, sometimes it's wonderful to give, but there are times you might find yourself overgiving. No, now might be a good time to check in and see where you might be cutting off the flow of abundance. Let others give to you, even if you are more comfortable being generous and being the giver, the healer, and the rescuer. In the art of living, we sometimes overlook an important skill, receiving gracefully and with gratitude, without diminishing yourself or trying to deny vulnerability or bringing an agenda of equality to it. Receiving is hard for some people. Maybe you? You do not need this for that in exchange with others. You are doing good in the world. Let the world give back and support you. Then you can give up the old stories that have you convinced you have to do everything alone and with no help. Let your well be filled. We all love you so much. So within this as well, I feel like this is saying, you know what, be fearless in your vulnerability. Be fearless in your ability to communicate with others and ask for what you want as well. And when we are receiving love, when we are receiving gratitude, one of the most important things I felt like from this was to take it graciously and gratefully without diminishing ourselves, without trying to make light of the situation or take away from ourselves. So a really good example of this would be if someone says, well, you look really nice today. and you say, well, thanks, and you start going on about how you feel like crap and all this stuff, this is going to affect you as well, right? Because you're not being able to receive this compliment graciously. You may not even believe it to be true, and this is stuff that we need to work on ourselves, because one of the things that most of us aren't taught is how to receive compliments, to receive gifts, and to receive love without feeling like we need to give that back in return as well. So a really important message this month, but I also think that this is important because practice makes perfect. So you guys, I feel like, Leo, you're going to be getting something this month substantially. If you can get yourself figured out where you may be blocking abundance, like it said. And another way that you could do this, even when you're blocking abundance and not really knowing it's happening, is again by that little pieces of negative self-talk and diminishing ourselves when, you know, compliments or things that help comes to us. So let's get into this. One more card, please, Spirit. Thank you. You got 3. Oh my gosh. So I'm going to show you. The blue is speaking to me, so I'm going to take this one and we'll see what it says. Dearest you, the common saying, be in the world but not of it, and wear the world loosely, refer to the need to be engaged with life while not being attached to a specific outcome. Do not take this world too personally, for you are one of many co-creators here to play, and we have many ideas about how all this should play out. Just know the outcomes don't matter as much as the presence you bring to each experience and how you let yourself flow through life. There's a real freedom in knowing and accepting this. So will you wear the world loosely, or will it straitjacket you? It is your choice. Whatever happens, have the courage to keep trying, to live as you are meant to, and when it comes to manifesting, don't worry about the how or even the why. We have that covered. Everything is going to turn out exactly as it should. Spirit has a plan, loving you always and forever. And it says, you are beauty here with this deer, or, yeah, deer. So what I was picking up on, and this came from the first reading, and then in the first card, and then I kept hearing it in the other one. Many of us may have a aversion or trouble being vulnerable and being able to truly feel grateful for gifts when other people are trying to give it to us, because we may have had a situation with something, could even be childhood, people that you've trusted, or just somebody who's always been in your midst, feeling like if people give me, I must do back. This for that kind of thing. And I feel like there's a lot of, I heard like manipulation and emotional manipulation. So if you have been kind of, I'm hearing the word, honestly, the word groomed. For some people, there is, let's call it like a personality trait. I'm not exactly sure how to put this, so bear with me, guys, of, I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to bring you this. But they have strings attached with every time they give you a gift. And it's like there's an expectation given on you. And I feel like this could be really hard when we already may feel like the world is on our shoulders. We have extra expectations. Right now, I live in Canada and we are on lockdown. And it's almost the first full week again of homeschool. And a lot of, I know, parents are in the same position, right? No matter where you are, if you're in the States as well. Things are changing and we've had to adapt, right? I feel like this time around, because we had the longest March break and homeschooling, we didn't know what to do. It's easier this time. We have more of an understanding on how this is going to go. We're a little bit more seasoned at it. But there was a point to that. This is it, where we're a little bit more seasoned now. But if you haven't done it before, or even if you've done it before, but you're struggling, and this is already extra work on your plate, and many of you still have to work. So you're either going out to work or working at home while trying to support the people and the little people in your world, in your house, and we're stuck together, right? It's not about being stuck, but it's about having a lot of togetherness time. This is stuff that, while wonderful, can also lead to a bit of stress, right? When something else is put on our plate, but we feel like there's an attachment to we must now give something, it makes it difficult to accept whatever the gift was with gratitude, because our plates are already pretty full. And now in our worlds, we feel like because something has been given to us, now we have to rush and rush and rush to get something else done. To me, this is Christmas as well. A great example of Christmas. Not that we don't want to give to the people that we love. We want to give to them. But it doesn't have to be stuff that makes us stressed out, right? It doesn't have to be stuff where we feel like we're over giving and we're being depleted. I feel like one of the important things to do is with your loved ones, discuss this. If you see it happening and you know that, I mean, some of you may know a person that I'm talking about. Some of you may have no resonance for you, and if it doesn't, it's not yours. But this kind of idea can groom you as well, that when this kind of individual could bring you a gift, it's so that you will give them what they want. So a narcissistic tendency, a narcissistic personality trait. I'm hearing even like kind of like a psychopath kind of thing too. Not in those crazy extremes necessarily. This could even just be a very self-interested person. And if we've had people like that in our midst, especially growing up, there's going to be a lot of trust issues and pushback and blocks to us receiving. So if that part resonated for you guys, I feel like what's important is to learn how to set some boundaries. And there are quite a few different people on YouTube. I think the one I've been watching is Stephanie Lynn Coaching. Not exactly sure. So in the resources playlist, I put 2 videos by this girl recently. So if you are experiencing what I was talking about and having a little bit of trust issues, that woman, I believe, also does make a video on how to set boundaries. You could look at other stuff too and other people. But when we set boundaries, and it's also about enforcing them, how to enforce these boundaries. Because when we've had people like this in our world who may have made it problematic for us or given us trust issues, made it so that, you know, we are definitely blocking our abundance because we may have some internal unconscious fear of success, because what does that mean? I have to give up. I'm being drawn here to whatever happens, have the courage to keep trying to live as you are meant to. And when it comes to manifesting, don't worry about the now or even the why. Spirit has that covered. So everything's going to turn out exactly as it should. If you're having a little bit of anxiety even like this about setting boundaries, this is really important, because I keep being like, I'm honestly being pulled back into personal experience from this, and again, this is not about me, but I feel like the personal is political, and things that we all experience, we keep up and we bottle inside. There's a lot of times if we were to speak about those things, they could really help somebody. And I'm not going to give you specifics, but I will tell you there's been times where I've realized an individual in my life as well who was grooming me and almost manipulating me by giving me things. So it took me a long time to realize a gift would show up and then a request would be made. And if my answer wasn't yes to the request, there was a lot of anger and hostility attached to this. What I would suggest, if you are having trust issues, or if what I've said about this kind of entity or individual around you has triggered you, or really, like, if I've struck a chord with you, because Spirit's making me feel it for a reason, okay? And again, it may not be for all of you, and if you click off, please do it with love. But this is needing to, where it says there's a real freedom in knowing and accepting this, that you need to let yourself flow with the experience. the freedom also comes from being able to say no and not feel emotionally attached to that other person being disappointed. Or, as well as when the no comes, what do? Just pay attention for this. Keep an open mind. Watch their actions and see what happens. That's what I can say. I feel like this is a really important lesson for us all. It's not just one. We've all had to go through where we've needed to learn how to stand up and stay true in ourselves and stop the pattern of being bullied. So for some of you as well, what I'm hearing is if you felt bullied through your life, or you felt like you've been easily persuaded, or even I'm hearing like people have been able to convince you by just continually like breaking down your walls, so asking for the same things over and over again. See those things as blessings. Once you can figure out what's happening, to see it is to change it, and that's a blessing. Because then we can say, okay, I see your game. I see your power struggle. I see what's happening, and I'm under no obligation to reciprocate this beautiful gift, right? Depending on what it is. But it almost gets to a point where when you see the gift, you go, well, what do you want? And wear the world loosely is what I'm seeing. Wear the world loosely, or it will straitjacket you. So when it comes to other people, especially if you're denying something that they want, if it comes to other people wanting something and then you receive anger or hostility or even like any kind of emotional abuse, some people will like project onto you, or just really make you feel bad and guilt you for this. We need to work on cutting negative attachments and focusing on the blessings, right? Focusing on not those people, not those situations, focusing on all the good things in our life. So this also speaks to me of maybe even talking about that we need to not be attached to specific outcomes, right? Spirit has a plan. This may also mean, and I apologize if I'm repeating myself, I can't even imagine, can't believe I'm this far with no tarot, but don't hold on to people pleasing. We need to try and find a way to release and relax the hold. I'm hearing like relax the hold of darkness from This is the Sacred Rebels Oracle. Okay, they want me to show you this because it did flip a little bit. It was dream a beautiful dream. Don't be afraid to see a different picture of tomorrow, and know that you are beautiful, absolutely, inside and out, and that there is absolutely no shame in accepting your beauty. In fact, we need to see our beauty, because if we don't see our beauty, then we're not going to see our worth. And then when this person or people come around and try and get you to follow their lead by giving you crumbs or something that I heard that may not even be great for you or could be harmful to you, like, there's a difference between people wanting to give us because they love us and they're giving and caring and healing individuals, and then there's a difference between people who are self-interested and manipulating. And I feel like this dream, a beautiful dream, is telling us that what is important is to live our life, see the blessings, because a different world is possible. Spirit has a plan, and all the lessons that you've learned up until now, they were here for a reason. They led you down this path for a reason. And if you're resonating with anything I've said, it's for a reason too, because it's your time in 2021 to stand up. Take the difficult route. I will not lie, it was not easy at all to get this particular situation straightened out, and I also will not lie and say it's over completely. I've seen cycles of it end, but it is a personality trait of, and it's karma, I believe, that I'm supposed to learn. So look at it like that. Because when we see our lessons as blessings, because they give us a chance to change and grow and experience positivity, that's where we win. We don't lose, right? We win. We stay on top and we stay in high vibration. So I want to see you guys winning, to dream this beautiful dream of a new tomorrow, something that is completely different than you may have now, but not holding an attachment to what it needs to look like, while holding on to a big, bold vision. You may question, how do I hold an idea and a vision, but not hold an attachment to what that looks like? Let's give an example of my big, bold vision. Maybe free love. Maybe spreading love out into this world. Maybe spreading love to you. Maybe if my love can spread to you, and that love expands a little bit inside of you, and it expands to the people around you. This is energy growing, and this is love growing. And it's free. You didn't have to pay nothing for it. And I hope they didn't have to pay anything for it. We should never have to pay for love. And love is free. This is a free love moment. I think we're finally getting to this where it's a free love moment. The bees don't charge anything. They go from flower to a flower. Yes, they're getting something, right? But that's part of the natural ecosystem. It's not about a selfishness. And there is an importance here with your words. So I feel like your big, bold vision, if you've resonated up until this point, is it's time to stand up for yourself. It's time to allow the energy to flow through you. And if you're feeling fed up, it's time to change that, to loosen those reins of conformity, my friends, to ruffle some tail feathers, to tell some people no, to piss some people off, and to be true to you, you divine, beautiful person. The truth and integrity will only piss off the people who, A, have something to hide, B, have lied to you, or C, don't want to believe it, don't want to see it, and you are no longer being controlled. And you will see too, once you are no longer able to be controlled by a person or by a situation, once the tactics of manipulation no longer work, you will also see the true side of this. They wanted me to show you focus here, and also on signs. Enchantment is under here, and I believe this goes with, well, I took two. Enchantment and miracles go with this big, bold vision, because it is time to see the world from a brand new lens. And that when you start to, I think this is definitely on your ascension journey, right? There's some heaviness and crap that's been stuck in here for a while. And the only way that Spirit knows how to change it is by draw attention to it, bring it out in the open, and have you deal with it. It needs to change. I mean, there's other ways that Spirit knows how to change things. They can take something from you. They can send you little signs, which we've already got. And I feel like this is a big one, that if you've experienced this, the big bold vision is your truth, is your integrity, and it's your big grown-up life where you get to call the shots and know that your truth holds wisdom, but that your word is divine as well. And if there are people who are going to constantly push and push and push, don't focus on them, because they're a distraction from a bigger thing. And the bigger thing is your ascension journey, you spiritually growing up and honoring and recognizing your power in this world. And again, spreading that love just a little bit more around each time, like that you interact with people. So Spirit, please tell me, my question was the focus for 2021. My light changed, so I like that. You have the Queen of Swords here. This could be a Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius in your life, but this could be you or someone you're dealing with. Doesn't have to be air sign, but this could be you finally going, you know what? The world's not so black and white. And this black's for protection. Some of you may need to really detach emotionally to deal with situations, but this is also definitely about the protection of her with the black. You've got the Four of Voices, which is calming our mind. The Four of Swords, if you see, she's having a bath. She's experiencing peace and tranquility, and almost like an out-of-body experiencing, being able to astral travel in the bathtub and I heard see from a different lens. You have the Five of Inspiration, and this is also to me kind of questioning and honoring the different paths you can take, the different people that you've been, the different reflections that you see when you see in the mirror. As well as I feel like if this has anything to do with what I was picking up earlier on an individual who may blur the version of you or try to hurt you and take you down when you say no, this is you also going, you know what, I see this a little more clearly now. This is the image they've tried to project, but that's not what I was trying to do. And me putting my boundaries wasn't really hurting anybody, was it? You know, and then you can kind of get a little clearer picture, because I feel like focusing on the negativity that other people are throwing out at you is not going to gain the positivity in your world. And you have the Muse of Emotions, which is essentially the King of Cups. You, I feel like, are being asked to use your emotions as a muse to lead you, to inspire you to create, to inspire you to move, to inspire you to be who you are unabashedly, unapologetically. And I'm drawn to this boat underneath the starfish, to be able to be on top of the emotions, to understand them, to embody them, to drink from this cup. And I mean, the water is coming in and pouring out from their heart back into the ocean. We're accepting, I heard, like this universal consciousness as well. So for some of you, you may have a Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio in your life as well. But you have the Four of Emotions here as well. So the Four of Voices, Four of Emotions, both of these are about stability as well, fours. So, don't dwell. In this case, don't dwell on feeling like we lack. This also may bring, you know, where if you are noticing unhealthy patterns and you're walking away from things like that, you may get to a point where you're feeling a little bit lonely as well. But Spirit, I feel like, is saying, you know what? Sometimes loneliness is a really important spiritual tool. We all have to get to know ourselves. We have to be alone. And if we're afraid to be alone, to sit with our own emotions, we're not being whole and true to who we are. So being true to who we are is really important for this new year, 2021. Receiving the signs from Spirit, focusing on our blessings, focusing on the change that we'd like to see, keeping a positive outlook that miracles are coming. Joy and abundance flow freely to me. I now release any blocks of feeling joy and security. I release any blocks of being vulnerable and being safe to do so. I accept gratitude into my heart. I give free love out into the world. I feel like the more we treat ourselves as a divine being, the more we are truthful, the more we are whole, the more we are kind with our words, even to ourselves, the more we're going to start to see our power a little bit more, and you may be a little bit even bewitched with your own enchantment. So dream a big, bold vision. Don't be afraid to make waves, to be a Kickstarter, to do something that no one else has ever thought about, to boldly go where no one has gone before. If this has resonated with you and you feel comfortable sharing, I'd love to hear from you. If it doesn't, hopefully, there is a big, bold vision that you are feeling inspired to do. If not, I feel like this will be coming to you. And if nothing else, this is to dream up of a world that is free of violence, free of hate, and full of love, and something that you can help spread into the world. That's what I have for you. I love you all. And I'll talk to you later, Leo. Bye, guys.